Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. If you recall the classic TV show Bewitched, then of course you know who Agnes Moorehead is. Who could forget her iconic role as Samantha's manipulative witch mother, Endora? But prior to Bewitched, Agnes had established herself as a movie star. She had a role in Orson Welles' first film, Citizen Kane. Welles then gave her a role in his second film, The Magnificent Ambersons, which earned her an Oscar nomination. Her film work also earned her a spot as an MGM contract player. She also had an extensive and highly in-demand dramatic radio career. In the 1950s, she had a part in the movie Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte. This earned Agnes yet another Oscar nomination. Moorehead guest starred on many of the classic TV shows. She won an Emmy for a part she played on The Wild Wild West. For me, one of the best examples of Agnes Moorehead's acting talent was in the Twilight Zone episode, The Invaders. She was the only actor and had no dialogue. Now that's what I call a talented actress. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. In 1969, Sid and Marty Krofft's H.R. Pufnstuf hit the CBS airwaves, and a truly unique cult classic kids show was born. I think most who remember it would agree that the breakout character was that of Wilhelmina W. Witchy-Poo, played by actress Billie Hayes. Reportedly, Hayes wasn't the only one up for the role, as another actress by the name of Penny Marshall, yep, that Penny Marshall, also tried out. Even though only 17 episodes were made, Billie Hayes as Witchy-Poo on the rocket-powered broomstick, the Vroom Vroom, and her perfect witch cackle lives well in the memories of many fans. Ironically, while filming Pufnstuf, Hayes got an opportunity to play a primetime witch in the 238th episode of What Else? Bewitched. On the 1976 Paul Lynde Halloween special, Billie reprised her Witchy-Poo character, although uncredited, playing the sister witch of the original Wizard of Oz star, Margaret Hamilton. Must have been a different sister. Hayes also has a huge legacy in voice acting, appearing in such films as Nightmare Before Christmas, Shrek 3, Disney's The Black Cauldron, as well as multiple popular cartoons over the years. In 1984, she founded the organization Pet Hope to care for and find new homes for abandoned animals. So in contrast to Billie Hayes' on-screen portrayals, instead of a wicked witch, she could easily be called an animal angel. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. The original Lost in Space utilized many scary alien monsters. Although a few were a bit on the cheesy side, many were quite well designed and downright terrifying. Their eerie sound effects, screams, and howls had a strong impact when mixed with the intense musical soundtrack of the great John Williams. That certain ones really spooked me as a young viewer, so here I've assembled my top 5 scariest ever. Number 5 was the Mossman creature with the glowing amber eyes from episode 36, titled The Android Machine. At number 4 was that two-headed seaweed monster from episode 12, The Raft. It was just perfectly alien. Number 3 was that menacing robotic crab-like thing from episode 10, entitled The Sky is Falling, oddly reminiscent of a canister vac. Number 2 was the green monster from episode 41 called A Visit to Hades. Tim Burton may have been inspired for his Mars Attacks aliens by this guy, but my number 1 scariest was that menacing mummy-like creature from episode 11, Wish Upon a Star. Dr. Smith got much more than he wished for on this one. Its featureless face and muffled moans were truly frightening. Well, as for Lost in Space, those are my top 5 scariest creatures. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. The Addams Family ran for 2 seasons and 64 episodes, and for me, the funniest one of all was number 13, entitled Lurch Learns to Dance. This one really shows off the comedic talent of Ted Cassidy as Lurch. His character receives the annual invite to the Butler's Ball, which of course he never goes to. Morticia fears he may be becoming reclusive, or worse yet, not normal. That never crossed my mind. Well, the root of the problem was really he just didn't know how to dance. After a disastrous effort to utilize a dance teacher, Wednesday and Morticia make futile attempts to help, which results in broken furniture and Lurch's strained back. But it was actually Gomez that succeeded with him with what else? The tango! At the ball, a mysterious masked beauty, Morticia in disguise, joins him in a tango dance contest. Apparently, Lurch never knew it was her, and proudly he brought home the first place trophy. In episode 63, titled Lurch's Grand Romance, the famous butler continues his boogie lessons, later achieving internet immortality alongside his co-star Lisa Loring with the wildly popular The Wednesday Dance. Ted Cassidy took his skills one step further when in 1965 he performed The Lurch on the ABC show Shindig. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans! Route 66 was known for being ahead of its time, and it also influenced some other shows that came later. For example, Run for Your Life, Then Came Bronson, and Moving On. The show touched on many dramatic social issues, but it could also be light and comedic. And there was one such episode named Lizard's Leg and Owlet's Wing. It guest starred Peter Lorre, Lon Chaney Jr., and Boris Karloff. And what was really great was that two of the classic Universal monsters made their on-screen return. Yep, in full makeup, Lon Chaney Jr. as the werewolf and Boris Karloff as Frankenstein's monster. Although it had been decades since they'd worn the costumes, they still pretty much resembled their original characters. And if you watch the episode, especially Boris Karloff. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans! Night Gallery ran from 1969 to 73 for 43 episodes. Reportedly, Rod Serling conceived of the show while still working on The Twilight Zone. Reminiscent of his former classic, the intro of each episode had Rod portraying a gallery curator. He then gave us a private showing of paintings featuring frozen moments of the nightmarish tales you were about to see. On November 8, 1969, the pilot episode of Night Gallery aired as a made-for-TV movie trilogy. All three of the stories were written by Serling himself, but they were directed by three separate directors. The Cemetery, directed by Boris Sagal, father of Katie, starred one of my favorite actors, Roddy McDowall. His character's evil deed haunts him via an ever-changing family portrait. Barry Shear directed Escape Route. It starred the Tony Award-winning actor Richard Kiley as a fugitive Nazi soldier haunted by his past transgressions. The third one, titled Eyes, starred movie legend Joan Crawford in one of her final acting performances. She plays a blind woman surgically given a 12-hour ability to see. Crawford is reported as saying that although having to work with a 21-year-old director initially horrified her, once she began to work with him, she slowly realized he was a genius who undoubtedly had a brilliant future ahead of him. Obviously, Joan knew what she was talking about, as this was the directorial debut of a man named Steven Spielberg. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans! From creator Charles Schulz, the second of the holiday-themed Peanuts specials, It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, hit the CBS airwaves on October 27, 1966. The Emmy-nominated primetime cartoon was directed and animated by the legendary Bill Melendez. Bill had worked on many of the Walt Disney animated classics, as well as Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies cartoons. He also just so happened to be the voice of Snoopy. Charlie Brown was voiced by child actor Peter Robbins, who'd also appeared in TV classics such as The Munsters, F Troop, Get Smart, and others. Christopher Shea voiced Linus, and after his voice changed, his younger brother Stephen inherited the role. You would also remember their brother Eric from numerous classic TV roles, including a main part in Irwin Allen's The Poseidon Adventure. Lucy was voiced by 8-year-old Sally Dreyer. After originally playing Violet, she claimed she got the Lucy role because they felt her voice had a particular crabbiness to it. Reportedly, to keep it simple for the youngsters, a line would be read to them the way the director wanted it. Then, the kids would simply mimic it for the recording. In a touching piece of trivia, because Charlie Brown's trick-or-treating only turned up rocks, the studio reportedly received tons of candy shipped from kids that felt sorry for him. Now a staple of the holidays, like its predecessor, A Charlie Brown Christmas, It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown has delighted young viewers for more than half a century.